WhatsApp web. Or how will we share the next?
Okay, possible to get it horizontal.
She found it very figure of this year on this there. I think it does quite interesting.
Oh yeah.
This is such a little thing. This is a draw. It's whole.
Yeah. In between.
Okay, JP,
Yeah.
you check if
Between
it's working. That's the YouTube. Yeah, there is a delay.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
They're running.
They're in this world, so it doesn't matter. Awesome.
Joan is such a mute. Your photos. My God, really love it.
Yeah, we get feedback probably.
Yeah, fine. Stuff can still happen on other levels, you know.
Android.
Or maybe like there's a lot of pushing the seat. And also, okay. It's okay.
I'll just get to Facebook there.
I can park the YouTube one on the really, your gadget releases lots.
Check.
All that sort
I think there is.
It's a really, really upsetting. What the problem? Do you recognize something you really there?
Okay, do you have Facebook?
You can. Yeah, I'm running.
That's Facebook. Awesome. So we good. I changed the images as well on my profile.
Yeah,
So it's
enjoying my colleagues.
the best I can do right now.
Facebook doesn't show up on the YouTube. I mean, I remember one time I threw my line in.
Okay. You mean the like the
Exactly, because then
stuff?
There is potential debts.
I'm like that whenever I go to the bar. I'm just sit quietly.
No, but there's wisdom in the words. Just we use nonsense. It's real. I can see that.
Only man who sold this.
Sorry for you.
Okay, so there is the control panel for you.
Hello. Yes. I'm not bad. I know that.
Let's check if the audio gets picked up from here. I think we may have to move the whole thing, but we can try that.
Look at the live stream and go outside.
Yeah.
You know.
I know Wayne by sight, he doesn't know me.
You see him in the picture.
No, he came to his mother's book launch.
Oh, okay, I saw him there as well.
He gave her a heart attack, she was so excited,
Oh, yeah.
she completely forgot about what was going to happen.
Yes, I remember she was there. She was there.
She was over the moon.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank
It's
you.
gonna happen again.
It's wonderful to see you all.
Stop that.
When we get started, we need to light a candle. Everyone's going to light one candle, but not right now. Let's wait for everyone to arrive. We need about 10 minutes.
We've got 7 minutes.
Is this a vacant one?
6.
Mine's 1:53. I'll argue. I'm always right. I'm a woman.
Do you want to light again?
Try running good. Try running good.
The jetties out there. Did you hear? Soft.
No,
Too many people talking in front of the microphone.
the techie ones.
So I think it does auto levels. So if people are talking around the microphone, then it drops the levels. Yeah.
Is that all the cameras are?
A shot. Modern technology.
Amazing. Look at the drones would help make it.
This is reserved for management, this area. If you go in there, you're stuck. Yeah, you are.
Yeah. Technical stuff. You're just assisting the aficionado.
This is a Zoom thing, is it?
YouTube and Facebook links.
Okay. Yeah. Your nostrils are on YouTube.
Sometimes it's a thing you hear. Yeah. Yeah.
Sad occasion, but no.
I think once people have sorted, and sitting down and not chatting around the.
You're speaking. Like here.
It should be sufficient.
I'm not sure, but serious.
All individually? Okay.
You want them?
I like that, I like that.
You don't say it too loudly.
I'm taking. Hello. I don't
So it's just notice. Whatever's on there is on there. Right now, on this there's some pictures. I was just
The cause.
Oh, so that's my shoes. Okay. That's fine, that's fine. I'd attach the new ones onto together.
Just don't bump. Yeah. You want to sit there or? Oh, sorry. Like if you switch to YouTube, then Maybe that's been full.
Welcome. Has everyone got a seat? Betty and William, we're going to leave at the front. Would you like a seat? Young man?
I'll do.
No, or help yourself to a seat when you want one. So we're expecting Betty. William's just struggling to get her here. Joan's oldest friend. So welcome to everybody here who's here in body. Welcome to everybody who's here online. Welcome to everybody who's here in spirit. And I just want to check from the online perspective, do we need to check anything in terms of how loud I'm talking, the lights, is everything okay tech-wise? You all know online, if you've got any problems, just message JP directly. And he'll see what he can do. Welcome and thank you to the friends and family of Joan. Here's one of the friends. Come in, have a seat. Are there more seats at the back? Yes, we'll find a place. For Betty. Of course. No, we'll find a place. And William.
Oh, yes, she is.
Yay!
Pause for a minute.
We'll pause for a minute. So happy to see you, beloved. Oh, good. Very well. I'll just put that chair to make it more difficult for you. So I'm just going to go back a step, which is welcome and thank you to all of Joan's friends and family who are here in person, who are here online, and who are here in spirit. Of the family, we've got Bowen, Wayne, Luke, and some of Luke's family is here to represent Luke. I'm so short-sighted. Sorry? And then, and some of it online, and Anne and Anne's family we've got online. And then the extended families, the children of the children, Joan's got great-grandchildren, their nieces and grandnieces who are also online. There's in-laws, but they're more outlaws than there are in-laws. Outlaws are like me and Rita and she and Fran, and we're outlaw in-laws. And then, hopefully online as well, we've also got Winnie and her daughters, who's another mother alongside Joan, who helped raise the children. Amongst the friends, we've got old and new friends from Joburg and from Cape Town. We've got Betty here, who is Joan's oldest friend. Not that you're that old, but you've known Joan since, how old were you when you guys were friends? Kindergarten. They were actually friends in kindergarten. And many other old old friends as well, Anne Lawton and Van der Rit, people who both Joburg and Cape Town friends. So Betty, for example, helped Joan meet a lot of her new friends, introducing them to the garden club, the friends club. So Betty was a real bridge because she moved here first. And then so many recent friends who have stepped in a way that we're so often speechless as a family. We've been so grateful to have this incredible love and support of people who've only known Joan for a few years, yet have still loved her deeply, taken care of her, been brilliant neighbors, Scrabble players, tended to her wounds, physical and psychological. And I feel that she really, not despite, but because of the challenging, really difficult things that Joan went through in these last few months, people really rallied around her, and she deeply felt it. She really felt it and appreciated it. And that was a big gift. Not that, there's always difficult things, but it was a huge gift for her to feel so held. Her final months of life was so cosseted and so held and so loved in the hammock of your love. And then their carers, there were so many people that we called on professionally, from the doctors, from the physios, to the carers who sat with her day and night. Gifts here, I'm very short-sighted, I apologize, I might smile and nod at the wrong people. And Noisi and Kwezi, who were there 24/7 in the last weeks of Joan's life. She really had incredible care, and we are so very blessed to have had people who've showered such love on her, and we're so blessed to have had her in our lives. And then last but not least, of all the cats in Joan's life. She has had many cats. And just when we came here yesterday, there was a little Pilo lookalike that came and visited us all. It was just like Pilo, who we found a happy home for. So these are the people that are present here in body, online, and in spirit. Thank you for being here today. And thank you from the depth of our hearts for being there throughout Joan's life in your own unique ways. Thank you. We all grieve in our own ways. We each have our own journeys. But whatever our journeys are, they can all be made a little bit easier, a little bit better with adding some loving kindness. Head to the back. So we're just going to take a moment to do a loving kindness meditation. So find your seat, settle down. There are some seats at the back. And just be aware of, we've all been through, especially the family, has been so tumultuous to face a sudden death. It's just always a shock. There is no right time. There's no easy way. So just for a moment, just coming here to this present room, or whatever room you're in, and just being aware of your body, being aware of your breath. Just landing, arriving. And now hold in your mind or your memory any person or creature or baby or place that you've got an uncomplicated loving kindness relationship with. Just two pops to mind who you've got an easy loving connection with. And just feel yourself pouring loving kindness. Imagine that being is right in front of you, and feel yourself pouring your loving kindness, unconditional loving kindness. And just notice a bit what that feels like. For some of you it might have a color or a feeling. And now bring that loving kindness to yourself, to your own body. And feel yourself fill with loving kindness. Like you might fill a jug with sunshine. Notice how that feels in your body. Now feel Joan in front of you. You can look at her picture if you like. Allow your loving kindness to flow to her. Shower her with your loving kindness. Allow the feeling of loving kindness to extend to the whole room, everyone in the room. Allow it to fill the room you're in. Allow it to fill the rooms of all the people and the hearts of all the people that are here online and the people that are here in spirit. Extend that loving kindness to everyone at this event, whenever they may watch this live stream. Now imagine that you are holding the earth in your hands, a little blue-green globe. Shower this little globe with love and kindness. Now feel yourself on that same earth in this room, receiving that love that we've showered, showering down onto us. And now be aware of the unique love that Joan has for you, and allow yourself to receive that love. Just stay a moment with your unique connection. And feel her love for you. We are grateful for all the love and kindness. Thank you. It's a useful exercise if ever you feel the absence of someone. Fill it with their love for you. Notice the size of the hole, if there is a hole, and allow it to fill again and again. Now we're going to have talks from a few of the family, interspersed with some other talks, but when it comes to the family, we're going to do it in order of age, starting with young Bowen.
You're going to have to excuse me. It's been a rough ride, as you can imagine. I've luckily got my interpreter here, so that corner keeps me solid. Peter. We also call him, our name for him, because he's so creative, is Gogh. I will be referring to. I was thinking about it. I had a similar experience with Sally when I travel on my own. People say, "Where's Sally? Where's Sally?" And also, where's Joan? How's Joan doing? People, I had no idea how they would ever have known her. I asked after her. And I was thinking about it this morning. It's like she was a tree over the events that happened underneath her. You know, like you've got a big tree and in the shade people meet and talk and events happen and life carries on. And then I extended that and I just felt that people who have children are like trees and they make a beautiful thing called a forest of trees. And us that don't have children sort of are like little clouds that move through the trees, little like waves that experience it, that environment, the incredibleness of having children is quite a thing. It makes this reality happen. Part of that, so the forest is going back in time. So I'm looking at our ancestors. And for us, my sort of age was almost over. We are our main sort of family that supported our family. And they were huge. Oppa was an inventor and a photographer and an adventurer. And Orma was a housekeeper, a homekeeper, and a healer. And it was in that place that Joan and her older sister Marion grew up and learned about family, learned about creativity, learned about adventure. And it's a very precious thing to grow up in that. And as we grow up, we're not aware of what we're growing up into. We're just growing up and we're forming. And the environment we're in is helping us form. And the people we interact with and the events that happen help us form. And we were very blessed. There was the time in the 60s and 70s when there was a lot of exploration happening and travel was easy. And the world was a place for adventure, and there were the arts in the world, and music, and plays, and theatre. It was all live. It wasn't TV yet. It was a real life experience. If you wanted to hear music, you could listen to a record, but the best was to go to a classical concert or something, which we did often, and that was amazing to have that. Then there are lots of the ancestors that loved Joan, that have passed on. Baba Mutwa, he adored Joan. Our father, I think he loved her, even though they had troubles. Her sister, Auntie Marion, adored her. Prof. Dart. There's this long list. Brian Maguire, people definitely went to heaven. They were really amazing souls, and they adored her and still do. And then in this room, it's just amazing to have Mono and Sis Baba, Gogh, thank you for coming. Anne Lawton, all of you, thank you. Renee, thank you for being an amazing neighbor. Just all of you, for your love for her. Shirley, for playing Scrabble and caring. So it was like this room full of love for her. And there was a reason for that, I'm sure. So, and I had a recent experience, which I'm going to indulge in. Sally and I live at the base of a very high mountain. It's higher than Table Mountain. And it's very wild up there. And people venture up there very infrequently, like once a year maybe, someone will go up there. There are no paths, the wind howls up there. When it's kind of warm down at the base of the mountain, it's sub-zero up there. It's quite a place. But we met a mountaineer who wanted to go up, and I spontaneously decided I would go up with him, even though it was midwinter. And I was also very unfit. And I went up, and going up was a challenge, very rough, and climbing the rocks, and up and up. And eventually getting to the top was euphoric. It was an amazing journey and adventure and a thrill. And I thought maybe it's halfway, but coming down was 95% of the effort. Naturally, I went off route, and we ended up on scree slopes and nearly got into big trouble. Hours extra. We eventually got to the base of the mountain, which there's a wall of cliffs, and there's only two ways that have been cleared by God. We call one God's way and another one God's passage. We'd gone up through God's passage, and we were trying to come down through God's passage, and it was late afternoon, and I was exhausted, and we were miles away from it, on this cliff edge. And we had to go along the cliff edge for hours. And one wrong move, and I would have died. One wrong step, it was loose, getting dark, it was heading for -9, and we just went along, and something kept me going, that endurance when the body's just lost interest. You've got to keep going, you've got to be so focused. One mistake and it's finished. And I realized that that tenacity and that endurance is something that I got from Joan, from my mother. Growing up there, and eventually, in the darkness, we got down, just pretty dark, got down to our home, to the warmth of home. And very soon thereafter, I went through this experience, this unexpected passing of Joan, of my mother. And doing that edge walk prepared me for it. And just, it started this process which, I thought my mom's going to live for another 10 years. We got her squared away, we found a lovely place for her to stay, we're going to rehabilitate her. Kwesi and Nosi are amazing. And we found out what the problem was, but suddenly on the 18th, I was in the Drakensberg, and I got the news early one morning. So a big shock, because I was thinking 10 years still to go. But those hours of being on the edge of death helped me to handle confronting this death. And my mom and I are quite linked through our lives, and I could feel so I spent a whole day and the next few days in the Drakensberg, in the forests, and just supporting her journey. It was quite a traumatic experience for me, and Gogh helped me hugely and brought a lot of peace. And just now he will share a little bit of what you're going through. Okay, so part of what I've done is put together, I've got boxes of photographs from Joan, from her life. I mean, crates of them, thousands and thousands. And from my grandfather, the fourth, just on the slides, thousands. He's not in any of them because he took them all. But I selected a few out, and I know slides are difficult, the family slides, but it's just a few minutes, and we're going to go through them and just see her through her life. And what these photographs showed me was that for her call, she worked like crazy. I mean, I've got lists here of the different things she went through, at least 14 careers to support the four of us kids. It was phenomenal. But the core of it always, and all the troubles, we all had got sick or years in hospital. It wasn't like normal illness. What she went through, okay, and then especially Wayne and I have been adventurous. I vanished for years into the wilderness, literally for years, nearly a decade. I'd get to the border and I'd like, they'd see my passport, phone your mother now. So, what she went through, I just can't comprehend. But looking at all these photographs, I just realized that she loved her family. Even though she was adventuring as well, and we were so lucky to have her friends like Anne and Boris van der Wit took our family in, so my mom could go, every now and then could go to Greece and travel the world. She went all over, she loved traveling, she loved plants, we all know that. But so it's going to be a few minutes, and I'm going to play you a song. Should I do it? And then where's the Mississippi? it's young Joan with Orma.
Sorry, can we pull out of the way? It is doing it. I'm sorry.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, thanks.
to prepare a speech for me. It's a huge sea of tears waiting to break. I have to choose my words very carefully. I was chatting to Bo and Sally a few days back, and we were talking about philosophy. And I just said randomly, as a student of philosophy, you know, philosophers start their esoteric journey with the famous saying, "I think, therefore I am." Cogito ergo sum in Latin. And it struck me when I said that actually we don't need to go that far. We as humans know exactly where we come from. The one immutable fact is that we come from our ways. And our mother was, I just turned 59. My birthday was a couple of weeks back, and it was the last time I interacted with my mom was on that day. And she, even at my advanced age and with the pretty remarkable journey that I've had in this life, I've done some really crazy stuff on this planet. Very dangerous things. But every single morning, no matter where I am on this planet, if I don't send a message to my mom, she will send a helicopter out because her son is in danger. And right now I'm working in the outskirts of Ethiopia, in the rural part of Ethiopia, in a pretty dangerous area, and, which is just how my life has been. And the last time I saw some of you was at her book launch. I was working on the border of Yemen at that point. So I kind of like flit in and out of her life really. And I want to say one thing on the side, is that I always thought I could suspend the time I wanted to spend with my mom to some point in the future when I had secured her economic well-being. That was my focus, was to get her stable and economically sound. But in so doing, missed these very valuable years. And I urge anyone in my position to reconsider that choice, that decision that you make. You have to balance it better. You cannot put aside that time that you have with your family. It's irreplaceable, as you know. It's a one-way. Bowen covered pretty much most of what I would say, just from a more personal perspective. As a young Bosha growing up in a very difficult household, he maybe didn't stress that part. Those who know of my father, he was certainly different. He wasn't an accountant, and I had to find an accountant. And he did leave my mom in a very difficult position when he passed, and even prior to that, of raising these 4 children. I definitely was the most difficult, with stints in jail and all kinds of things, but that's another story. But one thing I can say is that she's just fiercely fought for her family. She had no money, she was broke, she used to go house to house selling things in our neighborhood, you know. Just so humbling for any human being to have to do that. But she did it. She would do absolutely anything for her kids. Until the very day that she died, she literally would do absolutely anything. And I could fill days of stories and things that how she would put together the holidays when we all crammed into a little car and drove on journeys. Often didn't make it because the car would break down, but it was part of the journey, it didn't matter. She made that effort, and she made that effort at huge cost. It was for everything. So yeah, I'm going to sit down here. Thank you.
Wayne. I'm going to ask you just now, after Gogh, to read something from the Tree app and a little extract also from Joan's book, because we thought it'd be lovely to have her voice here. But if Gogh would like to come say a few words, sitting or standing, yeah, that would be wonderful. So Gogh, when we got a message from Joan, sorry, to say, will Joan's service be at the Christian Community Hall? And we thought, what? And then we remembered that in Joburg, she went to the Christian Community Church and was very interested in anthroposophy and introduced her whole family to it. Many of whom are still very much in that world. And remember, that was a big part of who and how she was. And for Bowen especially, he worked a lot with Gogh and with Andreas van Breda, who's the priest at Gogh's church down the road, who is the son of the priest in the anthroposophical church that Joan used to go to in Johannesburg. So it just felt this amazing coming together of the spirits and the humans who have been part of Joan's soul journey. And the three of them had their own process related to that day. I wanted to share just something else about that day. It was Mandela Day, the 18th. And it was so much a certain spirit of the Rainbow Nation, and I was also thinking about that when you listen to the Rainbow Song, and there's this metaphor of going over the Rainbow Bridge to the other side. And Bowen and I, just a week before Joan died, not expecting it at all, danced on the grass on front of her hotel, the St. James Retirement Hotel. They had this thing called a secret sunrise, where you dance with the music in your ears, and we all dressed up like Mandela, and we heard his voice, and we danced, and it did feel like in some way that spirit was being carried forward on that day. So that was just a little bit what I've heard about, and Gogh has more to share about the day and about the experience. If it's more comfy, that's also a good spot. You can go. Chairs also.
If you need a chair. Okay.
Bowen, Wayne, Sally, friends of Joan. My heart goes out to the very time Sally was just talking about. I met Joan when she was still very involved with anthroposophy and Dr. Rudolf Steiner's work. And she was doing pictures, painting, drawings for Gogh Ames, who was in charge of Farm Natura. And there was Joan doing these amazing pictures. And yeah, so that's where I met her in a completely different circumstance, so-called anthroposophy, you know. And then I taught also anthroposophy at that time. I was a lecturer. And Bowen used to come along with his bare feet and come walking in. And I'm teaching eurythmy, you see. This man amazes me. He just comes in. Sometimes he comes late. But he's no apology. He just walks in, and there he is. He joins in. The most incredible man. I thought to myself, who's this guy? You know? And only later I realized the connection, you know, with this man and Joan. Only much later. I didn't put the two together. But I must say that the two fit very well. So now, I have been asked to say some words of wisdom that come out of some of Steiner's work, perhaps. Some of you might know about Rudolf Steiner, who was a very famous clairvoyant. And he spoke a lot about the Bible, but from a very different point of view. So if you're expecting to hear something from Rudolf Steiner that fits into Orthodox Christianity, I'm sorry. That's not going to happen. Well, what I want to talk about is Steiner's references to certain passages in Revelations. Wow, you know, Revelations is quite a thing. Now we know that Revelations, this comes from a time after the crucifixion of Christ, and he was already ascended, and he was overshining John the Baptist. Well, John the Beloved, when some say he's connected to John the Baptist. So he was overshining him, and he's dictating to him something about the four horsemen. I don't know if you are familiar with the four horsemen. Well, four horsemen, it's coming in, it's in vogue, or it's trending, as Wayne says. That's the way your friend over here, he keeps talking about trending. Well, the horse is an interesting imagination, because I call Steiner's work imaginative. Now, the horse was tamed so that humanity could tame the intellect. The horse and the intellect are synonymous. So when there's this talk about these four horsemen, they're incredibly interesting indeed. So now the first horseman, I'll tie all this back to Joan in a moment. Just give me a moment. I'm not giving you a talk on philosophy, but just follow me on this horseman story. Because now the horse, you see, the first horse is a white horse. And on this white horse sits a rider with a bow. And, well, you can read Revelations to find out what that means. The second horse is a red horse. And the one on the horse, riding on the horse, is swinging a sword on the red horse. On the black horse, now you have someone completely hooded, sitting like this, and he's holding a scale. Away. That's the black horse. And then the final horse is the pale horse. And the pale horse is someone who wields a sickle. Wields a sickle and ready to harvest. It's the harvesting human being. Now, what you don't know, and now I'm going to connect it back to Joan, is that these four horsemen are connected to four planets. The black horse is connected to the planet Saturn, and Neptune is connected to that planet, to the pale horse. And the red horse is connected to Mars. Now, if you have any feeling for esoteric understanding, you will know that planets have quite a lot of deep meaning for the soul life of people. Well, on the day that Joan died was a very auspicious moment, because Saturn and Neptune had come together in the sky, and there they were in the sky, and when Joan phoned me, I thought it was, wow, she's chosen a very auspicious moment, extremely auspicious. But then I went and investigated this further, because you know we're all confronted by death in a very big way, and the glorification of death comes through the teachings of Christ Jesus, because he overcame death. So I decided to go to the crucifixion and look where and how the planet stood at that time of the crucifixion. Very interesting indeed, because there was an eclipse that day. There was a sun eclipse and a lunar moon, and there was a lunar eclipse. So they have to line up. And as they lined up, they are in a position in the heavens. Well, that position was 2 degrees of Libra. Now, what's interesting is the Saturn and Neptune standing together on the day that Joan died was in 2 degrees of Libra. Well, I don't know if you don't find that fascinating, but it turns my it turns my heart inside out. Because I go, whoa, Lord, this is very interesting indeed, you see. Because here's the man that overcome death, and here's Joan making transition into the higher worlds. And Gogh was very concerned about the hygiene around the transition, you see. So I got involved with all of that a little bit. And but the interesting thing is, today, Mars has come around, creeping around, creeping around, creeping around. So here's Saturn and Neptune in the sky, in 2 degrees of Libra. Here comes Mars, and now today, a very auspicious grouping of people here, because Mars brought you in alignment with the very angle that Joan died, 2 degrees of Libra, which is the very place that Christ had to endure the crowning of the thorns. Because that is what the sun symbolizes. So now I would like to say that I'm not reading the importance of this, but I do find it fascinating indeed, because Joan was a person that I knew with great integrity. She was a principle-driven person. She did everything from the heart. So for me, this was not an average human being. Even when I met this her for the first time, I said, this fascinating individual. And same with this man. When he came into my eurythmic class and barefoot and he came stomping in there, I thought, fascinating human being. But in the meantime, they are connected in a very deep way. So, what I'm trying to say, and let me get to what I'm trying to say. She died, we talk about the moment of death. Well, she died at a very auspicious moment. For she met the very configuration of the being in a cosmos that overcomes death. So she knew about reincarnation, for example. She knew about life after the grave. She knew about the importance of her children. She was married. We keep hearing about how complicated this man was, but, you know, this man was deeply steeped in the traditions of Africa. So it's very wonderful to see African people here today. Well, this man was so deeply involved. It came oozing out of his skin. He was so deeply involved. And of course, you mentioned Baba Mutwa. This man was deeply connected to Baba Mutwa. And so Baba Mutwa is one of those beings that I've taken a great interest in and studied and gave lectures about. So even though he was a complicated man, there was a side to him that knew about ancestors, life beyond the grave, life before the birth. And so she, of course, just fitted into, like a hand into the glove, into Rudolf Steiner's work. So I say thank you, Bowen, Sally, and Wayne, and the friends, for the opportunity to bring forward the tremendously auspicious moment. And let me just remind you what I've just said. Mars is the red horse. The black horse, that's Saturn, the one with the scales, like this. And the other one is the pale horse, the one with the sickle, coming for the harvest. These are all aligned in the heavens at this moment, and we are gathered under their auspicious alignment. But this alignment of the 2 degrees of Libra is intimate with the crucifixion of Christ Jesus. Bless you, beloved Joan, and family, and friends. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joan. I think Joan would agree to never have a boring preacher, and we made sure we shouldn't have that. Thank you. And thank you for linking us with the present and with the past. And it's also for those who follow the Stars Lions Gate at the moment, with tomorrow being a peak day with the connection to Sirius, which is our brightest sun in the star, am I correct? Brightest star, which is the sun?
Yes, indeed, it is the sun.
It is our brightest
Sirius
sun.
is the great central sun.
The great central sun tomorrow. We're also aligned in getting the right one. I don't really understand astrology, but I can feel like, sounds like it was a good day. If you're going to choose a day to go with Christ, go with Mandela, go with Gandhi, go with all that energy. And it says something about Joan and the way that she, I can't say she was a martyr, but she took on things without complaint. She might about something random. Service. She had a life of service. So Wayne was going to read something from a little thing from the book, and also something from the tree app people.
Don't you have it?
Yes, I will find it. We've had enough, I can read it, but we've had enough. I'll
Actually, this book is a remarkable story in and of itself. There was a book written about my father. It was based upon his life, written by a man by the name of Lyle Watson. And my mom wanted her side of the story to be told, because it was kind of a bit romanticized, that book, by Lyle Watson, because he had to sell bestsellers. He was a bestseller kind of a guy. So she always wanted to write her own book, and she went through many revisions of that. And she just pushed, and everyone was saying, look, you can't write books nowadays, it's a big job, no one's interested. But she did it. She actually published this book. It's a miracle. She pushed so hard, and despite all of us not really believing it was possible, she somehow got people outside, and before we knew it, she published a book. So I'll just read a short chapter here, a short paragraph. I'll just read 4 or 5 chapters. Early one morning, after dreaming I could fly, I pulled my sister out of bed, telling her excitedly that now I knew exactly how to fly. We dragged the kitchen table next to the worktop and sink, with about a meter's space in between. I climbed onto the table, crouched, and flew across the worktop. Or that was what was supposed to happen. What did in fact happen was a nasty crash landing and 2 painfully grazed and bruised knees as I landed with a thump on the floor. I was always wishing and dreaming that I could fly and soar and swoop amongst the birds, which I suspect she is doing right now.
When we were at one of Joan's last messages to Bowen and I, when we went to the Drakensberg, it was, I wish I was with you. And then the next day she was, and we both had we were high up in the mountains with these big valleys. We both had such impressions of her flying. Bowen said, did you feel her flying? And yes, she's been flying. So that really felt true. This is a message from the Tree App South Africa team. I don't know if it's too small.
Yeah. So another amazing thing about my mom, for those who don't know, is she was an artist. And from my personal perspective, she always struggled between the commercial side of art, which she had to do to make money. She was very successful as a commercial artist, mostly botanical work. She used to paint everything. I mean, I remember as a kid, ducks, all kinds of things she used to paint. Stamps, yeah, she has, we have some South African stamps were illustrated by her. But there was this kind of dichotomy where she was very comfortable with the commercial side of her art because it allowed her to make money again, to look after her kids and to survive. And I believe she illustrated, I don't know, countless books, maybe more than 50 books in her life. But then also she had this beautiful artistic side. And I remember for a certain period of time, now she knows, of course, she was, artists are very strange creatures. I'm the only one in the family who's not an artist. Possibly someone jumped the fence, but I have absolutely no artistic inclinations. I couldn't even do a straight line if it threw itself at me. But artists are very sensitive in ways, which I think you have to be to be an artist. And they often believe that their art is terrible, even if it's really good. And she went through a terrible time, my mom, when she didn't believe in herself as an artist. And so I committed this terrible sin of pretending that I knew these wealthy people who wanted to buy her art. And, you know, so I was kind of lying to her, but it brought her out of this depression, art depression. And we had all these wealthy people buying her art up, and she started becoming very prolific with some of her most remarkable art, which of course I all now own. I ended up buying all of her art. But it was a way of supporting her and also encouraging her art. And the art that she produced for those people is magnificent. It's truly beautiful. It's not constrained by any commercial aspect. It was mostly landscapes, beautiful landscapes from the memories when she was in Botswana and so on. And I'm still very lucky to have all of that art. So anyhow, this is from one of the commercial sides. This is from the Tree app. So the Tree app, as I understand, is an app that you can download and identify trees. All of us at the Tree app are deeply grateful to have worked alongside Joan, whose extraordinary talent brought South Africa's indigenous trees to life through her art. Joan's botanical illustrations were at the heart of the beloved Sappi tree spotting books and later became a cornerstone of the Tree app South Africa. For 14 years, she was our lead artist, creating over 1,000 full-color illustrations that continue to help people across the country identify and appreciate the trees around them. Her work combines scientific accuracy with a unique warmth and beauty, an approach that made trees not just easier to recognize, but easier to love. We celebrate her remarkable contribution and the joy of having collaborated with her over so many years. So yeah, that is one thing, because I remember talking to her about that and asking her, like, why do you do this when you can do this? And she said to me that she loved bringing life into these scientific drawings. That, you know, I asked, why don't they just take photographs of these things? She said, look at this, look at the life that's inside this picture in the book. And she could enhance certain parts of the photograph with it, and she explained all that to me. So, yeah. We're going to sing, or what are we going to do? They want to roll.
But we will sing. Not yet. We're going to, I don't know, we don't have any messages directly from Luke. So we'll move on to Luke's children later. But we're going to have a message from, well, it's going to work like this, because Roxy, one of Luke's children, is going to represent Anne and read something from Anne. So in order of age, we've got, what do you want to say, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. So, Wayne, Luke, and Anne. And Roxy, Luke's daughter, is going to read something from Anne, and then she's going to move on to sharing something from herself and from Anne's children. Trying to sort of keep it in order of age, but nobody really cares.
Which is Joan's grandchildren.
Which will be Joan's. So Roxy is Joan's granddaughter, and she's going to read something from Joan's daughter.
would have loved this. A gathering to celebrate her life, and what a life. An incredible woman was my mother, talented, strong, kind, and stood for what she believed in. A friend, a loving daughter, and a precious Oma. For me, I have lost my mum, and my heart is broken. She was my rock, my champion, and no matter what, she was always there by my side. It is a privilege to have her as my mother, and the loss is profound. This too will pass, were her favorite words, spoken so often, and they steady me. And I can hear her saying them now, and maybe in time it will. But for now, I grieve.
Thank you, Anne. Now we ask Roxy.
Oma and I had a bit of a different kind of relationship. She was there right in the beginning of my first 2.5 years, and then for a time she wasn't, but weirdly still was. She used to send me these beautiful cards that she painted of fairies, and I think to a certain degree it kind of brought magic into my life, and ever since I've always just loved the fantasy side of things. And to say, I guess, a thank you to her, I wrote a poem. May your dreams of whimsy guide you to your lush garden of magic. Let your beautiful glass-like wings grow and embrace the crisp moonlight air as you soar above enchanted irises that bob and sway to the night's melody. Watch as silver powdered moths flit and dance with the firefly fairies and flicker to life the day you took your first breath. Lay your body still in the sacred forests and listen to the tales of ancient times, almost forgotten, while the baobabs whisper to the fading stars above. In the cover of the loosely knitted grass, rest your adventurous soul. As the first blush of a new day warms the sky, and you become one with the earth again.
Do you want to keep going, or would you like to pause?
That's the end of my little bit. I'm now going
That's
to...
impersonating someone else.
I'm now someone else. I'm going to play 2 recordings. The first one is Montana and Holly's, and the second one will be Josh.
Thank you, Anne, for your beautiful speech. Thank you, Roxy, for your beautiful, somehow in the craziness of poetry, that the emotions just go,
Sorry.
So next up is Montana, who is the mother of, a daughter of Anne and the mother of Roxy and Iris, Joan's 2 great-grandchildren, followed directly by Josh.
Josh and then Holly.
And then Holly, the children of Anne, Joan's grandchildren.
In loving memory of our wonderful Oma, of all the special gifts in life, however great or small, to have you as our Oma was the greatest gift of all.
May the winds of love blow softly and whisper in your ear, we love and miss you, Oma, and wish that you were here.
Deep in our hearts your life is kept to love and cherish and not forget. No more tomorrows we can share, but yesterdays are always there.
A silent soul of the sacred kin keeps your memory ever near, in our hearts forever, of Tana Holly.
Dear Oma, one day we shall all have to go on the journey you have just gone. But time stops for no one. You may no longer exist in the body you were born, but I still see your presence in me, existing in a different form. You always use the word love sparingly, because you only said it with emotion and integrity. For to you it was something to be said seriously. I will always love you, my dear Oma. I I miss you immensely. Love, Josh.
Thank you for the beautiful poems. Sure. Helen, would you like to come up and say a few words? Followed by Les and Foxy.
Yeah. I haven't known Joan so long, only the past few years, through our Marina de Gogh various friends. I greatly enjoyed her company and I miss her a lot. I suppose it was a quiet, gentle personality, but it was also that she was such a fascinating person. I did work at a Rudolf Steiner farm for a while with mental disabilities. I just found her an amazing and wonderful person. I loved talking with her about her artwork, her interest in antiques. She had a house full of wonderful things. Gardening, listening to music, classical music. She was always interested to talk about family, as was I, so we talked about her children and grandchildren. And she was always interested in my family as well. I don't find it easy to talk about my faith, but sharing our beliefs with each other is important. And it's an authentic person, part of who we are. Joan wasn't a churchgoer, although she believed in the Christian faith and she prayed. I used to say to him, she said, I pray every day. Now that morning before I heard that Joan had passed on, I'd woken very early hours of the morning, and unusual for me because I tend to sleep through unless there's disturbance. And I felt under spiritual attack, as if there was a great big attack happening around me. You know how it is when you wake in the early hours sometimes. But then Jesus Christ's words came to me that the gates of hell will not prevail. I went to sleep. So that's why when Kevin said, will I say a few words? I thought, yes, I will. This is what happened that morning when Joan was busy dying. Now those words say that the powers of evil will not be able to withstand against Christ and his atoning love for us. The gates of death cannot withstand Christ because he has broken through those gates. And he's come back from death victorious. And as can we because of him. He was the ransom for the sins of humankind, as the Son of God was the only one who was powerful enough, pure enough, to defeat Satan, the evil. Paul, writing to the Romans, chapter 8, nothing shall be able to separate us from the love of God. For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of God, which is in Christ Jesus our Lord. I just wanted to share that.
Thank you so much, Helen, for being such a rock in a time when, throughout these last years, but particularly when Joan went through a major crisis, Helen was just this absolute rock. And none of us were in town at the time, and you were there for her, as many of you were, but as this absolute loving family. Teresa, her name, I feel if I start naming people, I'm going to leave out them people. But there were so many of you that were there for her in a way above and beyond what most families do for each other, and we are forever grateful to you. And next up we have Les, who is part of her friendship group, her supper club, and who is her favorite, if I might say, I might be corrected, her favorite dancing companion. Judging by the photographs I see with them at Wild West, see. Brilliant. So, but let me let you speak for yourself. Thank you, Les.
Thank you for that introduction. Joan certainly was a pleasure to be around with, and it's a great pleasure for me to be with all her friends and those who are online. As we celebrate her life of 86 years old, 86 years? Yeah. It's a remarkable age, and we're just so thankful for, and she, as we've heard, she's had such a wonderful life, and it carried on right through to the end. I've known Joan for about 3.5 years. As it's been said, we're part of a singles group in the marina, where we meet once a month, where we go out and have a meal, and we have fellowship, and we just have fun together. There's quite a few of us from the fellowship group who are here today as well, and it's so nice. So many people have come to be here. She would always be phoning me. In her last days, she was a little bit, her mind wasn't quite right, and she'd be phoning me a week, 2 weeks in advance, saying, are you going to be giving me a lift again? And it was always a pleasure to be taken there. And it's also been said that we belong to another group at the St. James Hotel. Every first Friday of the month, we have a theme evening, and there again, Joan was always, she never missed an opportunity to go to St. James. We would have some fine dining and dancing, as been explained really, and she loved to dance. I walked with Joan around the marina, and I took her down to the St. James promenade on the beach, and on one occasion, as we were walking on the promenade, maybe some of you have noticed that there's a concrete strip on the rocks in the sea, and she said to me, Les, what's this rock, this concrete foundation? It was obviously been there many years, and it's been abandoned. But that just, once again, showed her artistic mind and how she's always in the detail, looking for the finer little details. As we've heard, Joan was very independent and prided herself in walking around the marina almost every day to keep fit, and maybe that's one of the reasons why she lived so long, was just to keep active. Unfortunately, after that disastrous attack, her walking became very limited. And one of the things that, when Bowen was trying so hard to give his mom the best life, knowing that staying alone in a house at that age wasn't a wise thing. And Joan really didn't want to leave her home. But the one thing that motivated her was to be at the St. James Retirement Hotel, which was so close to the beach. And all she wanted to do was to go and walk on the beach. But unfortunately, the attack, and she didn't do that much walking, and even when she got to her new home, just to walk around and just to get up to the dining room was a major job for her. And so I don't know if she ever got onto the beach again, but it was the one thing that motivated her to get there. She was very happy to be settled in very nicely, and with people coming around to visit her, and she was most happy to have her cat Philo. They gave her a lot of comfort, and thankfully Philo now has a new home. Joan was, as we've seen, and I've heard more about Joan these few days, what a wonderful woman she was. I just knew a short part of her life. And the way she brought up her children, and to see the love and dedication that Bowen, Sally and Wayne have supported Joan in his last days to make her life the absolute best that she could have had. That they've spared no time, effort, or finances to have been a real blessing to Joan, and we will applaud you for all you've done. And even to go through all the trouble to arrange this meeting, so many of us are here physically, and to arrange for the online, those online. We just thank you, and all the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Les, for your words and your friendship. Rita, would you like to say anything, or Matt, or Dan? I know we didn't hear you, but would you like to say any words? You're very welcome. Then I'm going to read something from my mother. She's had a bit of a hard time, had a fall, but she's been close to Joan and very much part of Joan's extended family, almost like Joan's family home. Whenever we have a Moshe family event, it'll be at my mother Bosky's house. Can I ask everyone please to turn off their phones? This is someone important who wants to give a message. No, good. Joan has been in my life, so this is from Bosky. Joan has been in my life for a few years now. Sally, Bowen and Joan came to supper with me regularly, summer and winter, birthdays and Christmas. I loved and I loved Joan, which was mutual. I have a string of adjectives which come to mind when I think of Joan. She was unassuming and modest, an acclaimed artist, botanist and author, a good friend and loving mother. My adjectives are sterling, stalwart, modest, generous, brave, a trooper, humble, appreciative, funny, fun. I really loved Joan. And just my own speech, just to echo that from me, I really loved and I really love Joan, and I'm very grateful for having her in my life, not least because of the people she brought into my life. I just want to, we're going to do a little song just now, and we're going to have a moment again if anyone wants to add something, but I just wanted to share a what-if notion. There's facts about death. Joan is no longer here, her body becomes ashes. So those are facts, but what is the truth about death? We don't know. But after, I've had a lot of losses, a lot of deaths of people I've loved in the last 7 years, probably an average of 1 a year, the most recent being my brother Robert, the most recent before Joan. And after 3 days of dancing and crying in pouring rain, and going through my own ways of letting my body feel and grieve everything, I heard this little voice saying, what if he was in another country? And you were going to see him again, but not for a while. What if he was really, really, really happy in that other country? And what if you could communicate, but you just need to learn how to do that until the time you see each other again? How would you feel about death then? And after all my days of crying, I could kind of try that on. I could try that on and I could feel it. So it feels like a truth to me, even if it's not a fact. And I keep feeling Joan. Whenever I cry for her, I feel her popping up saying, hello, hello. And I'm learning different ways of communicating. It helps being a writer and having an imagination. But we all have imaginations, and we all find ways, whether we see it as someone is physically, we're going to see them again. We have a relationship. Relationships never end. And you can continue with that relationship. You can improve on that relationship. So that's something to play with, your own what-ifs. Would anybody else like to say something? There's so many people here who have been so close to Joan and given so much and received so much. Absolutely. Would you? So we'll talk on behalf of Betty.
Yeah.
William.
So, just want to say that my mother, you met Joan, was it kindergarten, am I right? Or was it grade 1, grade 2 in those days? And the reason why you became friends with Joan is because someone was attacking you about something and Joan fiercely defended you. And from that day onwards, you've been friends. And we're talking 78 to 80 years now of friendship. Absolutely incredible. So I've known Bowen and Wayne and Anne and Luke since, well, my whole life long. And yeah, we're a fairly conventional family, hey, Mum? So you guys have been incredibly fascinating people to know. We're not conventional. I just want you to know that we really appreciate that. One more little anecdote that's actually in the book was Joan said she loved going to visit my mother because, as far as I understand it, Joan lived in a very fierce, lot of discipline in her home as a child. And in my mother's family, it was the complete opposite. And there's a story in the book how Joan loved to visit my mother to play, because she would visit and then she would come 2 weeks later again to visit, and they didn't have to unpack the playthings. They could just pick up the things that had been lying there for 2 weeks and carry on. Thank you.
Thank you, William. Thank you, Betty. Thank you, darling. We're so grateful for you in Joan's life. And we know she'll always be in your heart. Would anybody else like to say a few words? You can even say it from where you are if the trip feels too far. Please introduce yourself as well.
Okay, my name is Pam, and I'm just going to say a few words from the Garden Club, if I may. From the Garden Club committee people who are here. Just to say that Joan was a stalwart of the Garden Club in Marina de Gama. She was regular, she was very valued, very loved. I was lucky because on our outings she would habitually come with me in my car, so we'd chat, and we had a little gang that used to sort of travel together. We had a lot of fun, and she talked a lot about her children. And she talked about Betty, so I know about that childhood. She really valued that. That was a big thing for her. When the Tree Act was published, we thought we were on to gold, so we pounced on her and said, please come and talk to us about and show us your paintings. And she got this look of absolute rabbit in headlights. No, no. But we're all your friends. It's not a ring club. No, she wouldn't do that. So we just had to go and look at the app. So that was it. But we will miss her, and we loved her. So we did.
Thank you. I'm going to actually stop opening to the floor because I've just looked at the time and it's flown by. And we've still got a full agenda of exciting things planned for you, which include painting a bench, but I'm going to brief you on that after our song, and we want to eat and drink and carry the bench to the prayer garden. So we're welcome to share more stories with each other. I could certainly go on, but we've got a time limit on the venue. So the song we're going to sing is She'll Be Coming Round the Mountain When She Comes. And Bowen's going to hand that out if you haven't got it. But I'm just going to request while you look for it, because I'm just going to, because I'm a slow learner, I'm just going to tell you how I learn. So before we sing it, whoever's going to play it, get ready to press play. I'd just like you to repeat after me. I'm just going to give you the one line that leads to the rest of the verse. And it's just going to help you register it. So the first verse is, she'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. Just repeat that after me. She'll be coming round the mountain. The second verse is, she'll be driving 6 white horses when she comes. Not 4, 6. She'll be driving 6 white horses when she comes. The next one, oh, we'll all go to meet her when she comes. And then I just want to add in, those who'd like to join me in the doo-wops, whenever the group sings when she comes, we sing when she comes. We shout that. So just naturally go to whoever's doo-wopping. She'll be, now this is a new verse we've added in, she'll be painting pretty flowers when she comes. She'll be painting pretty flowers when she comes. And then we'll be singing hallelujah when she comes.
We'll be singing hallelujah
when she comes. So some of you have got to join me on that. And we will start playing. We have our lead singer here.
Just quickly, while we're doing this, is when we were in a little vehicle going up to Rhodesia in those days, we would all sing this sort of song with comedy.
Actually, I remember that because we were quite naughty, and so and it was a long journey, you know. We had this little beagle, and the person who was in the dog box had to go. I don't know if any of you have ever been in those old beagles, but there's a little section at the back, right, which is the dog box, right? But actually, the dog box was the place to be because she couldn't reach it. So she'd be driving, and then she'd just like, and when the kids were fighting, she just leaned back and whoa. So the one that was right in the back was actually safe.
Hit it. Hit it loud.
She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes.
Sing it so beautifully, we don't need that. Shall we let them explain that too? Yeah, okay, you guys have got it better than our recording. Get it? Yes, do that again.
Yeah, just go.
She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes.
She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes.
When she comes.
She'll be coming round the mountain. She'll be coming round the mountain. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes.
When she comes.
She'll be driving 6 white horses when she comes.
When she comes.
She'll be driving 6 white horses when she comes.
When she comes.
She'll be driving 6 white horses. She'll be driving 6 white horses. She'll be driving 6 white horses when she comes.
When she comes.
Oh, we'll all go to meet her when she comes.
When she comes.
Oh, we'll all go to meet her when she comes.
When she comes.
Oh, we'll all go to meet her. We'll all go to meet her. We'll all go to meet her when she comes.
When she comes.
She'll be painting pretty flowers when she comes.
When she comes.
She'll be painting pretty flowers when she comes.
When she comes.
She'll be painting pretty flowers. She'll be painting pretty flowers. She'll be painting pretty flowers when she comes.
When she comes.
She'll be singing hallelujah when she comes.
When she comes.
We'll be singing hallelujah when she comes.
When she comes.
We'll be singing hallelujah. We'll be singing hallelujah. We'll be singing hallelujah when she comes.
When she comes.
So the final things that we've done into our program, the eating and drinking. Going to be really fast. We've got a big spread there. You're welcome to take a takeaway. But the next thing to do is to paint a bench. Now we have a brilliant, world-renowned artist who has painted some vines, I think, on the bench. And we'll set up for us, if he hasn't yet, I'm hoping he's listening, and I'm hoping Bowen's maybe listening too, to just have on a palette, Bowen or the artist, paints that's really mixed for us, some pinks, some yellows, a couple of colors that are out there on the palette, the paintbrushes there, and we just want each of you to paint a heart, as if it's a flower, a pretty flower on the bench. And then we are going to, so you can only get 4 of you at a time on the bench, the rest of you shovel in what you can. And then once you've all done your hearts, make sure you've all done at least one heart on the bench. We're going to carry it down to the prayer garden. So I think we will do that at, well, we've got 40 minutes. What am I talking so fast about? Anything I've forgotten, my word? Oh yes, the trees. So we have the wonderful Luke is going to plant 48 trees, which is making it very easy for us to paint a total of 86. We're missing about 12 or so, which Wayne, whatever the number is missing, Wayne will get those trees. So we're guaranteed we're going to have 86 trees. Between what's an avenue on Luke's property on his reserve, and Flatbush, which is a reserve nearby, we're going to have 86 trees. And we've got 3 big trees that we have brought today to plant. We're not going to actually plant them because they're still going to locate exactly where they are, because there are a number of big trees which have been killed by borer beetle and have to be chopped down. And the conference organizer is very sad about that. So she was extremely excited when the boys went and brought some really big trees that will start to fill that gap. Really? Tall like you guys. That's amazing. Most of the other trees that you guys are sponsoring are going to be smaller saplings, and we've got a tin somewhere that says cash for trees. Thank you so much to all the people who have put money in the summer. We're still going to bring cash, pop it in, and it'll go towards the 86. There won't be excess.
Just a quick word. Online people, I'm going to bring the camera closer. We'll just replay the images so that you can just see it.
Of the slideshow. And if you could play it with that music. When we actually carry the bench, we've got a song which is Harry Belafonte. I'm just telling you the words now because they'll just happen, which is, won't you sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down, won't you sit down? And I won't sit down, I just got to heaven, wanna look around. And so we're going to play that when we do the bench. But for now, what I suggest is you bring it closer, play the rainbow song again, and then this is going to be the end for now of the online section because it's going to get too chaotic. But we will take some photographs of the bench when it's ready, and maybe we can do some videos of it in place. But we don't want to subject you to us eating and drinking. It isn't pretty. But thank you so much to all of you for being here. Thank you so much to the people online. Thank you so much to the people and presences that are here in spirit. And some last words.
By the way, why 48 trees?
Paul, you can explain.
We grew up in the house number 48, which was on the corner of 2 streets named by someone with a very strange sense of humor. We grew up on the corner of Fanny and Nelly. I'll leave it up to you. Fanny's Nelly or Nelly's Fanny, but it always rose a smile from our teachers when they used to ask for your address, stand up, what's your address? 48 Fanny Avenue, corner of Nelly.
So we're just going to, before you go offline, bring the slides here so we get a really good view of
So the bench is going to stay here in this garden where Mom used to come. So the artist, who's quite famous, who shall remain nameless, is charging us for every heart on the bench. So if you don't make one, he's going to do it, and he's really got a large family to feed, it seems. So we appreciate if everyone made a small heart. It would be amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
put the bench in the garden.
Kalera